Okay, boys, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are so many wonderful books to choose from. It's so exciting. I love to go to the library. And maybe you have a library card, I'm not sure, but it's so much fun to go to the library and pick out some books. You check them out at the library, which means you're borrowing them. You go home, you read about all these wonderful adventures, and you take them back and you get more books. So much fun. All right, so let's look at our Let's Find Out. And the gentleman on the cover, it says, meet the illustrator. Christian Robinson is an illustrator. He makes pictures for books. How does he do it? And then our friend down here says, well, he's also an author. He writes the words in the books too. All right, so, and you can see back here, I have the big pictures of him, but let's open our book. And let's go to that first picture. How does Christian make a book? How does Christian make a book? Okay, so let's look at our first picture. First, he gets an idea. He thinks about pictures and he uses his imagination. So that's the first thing that he has to do. And the second thing he does when he wants to write a book is next he goes into the studio. This is where he works. All his art supplies are here. So if you look, we have paper, he has water, he has glue and brushes and all kinds of things to help him do his illustration, to help him make pictures of what's in his imagination. Then he draws his idea and he starts small. And if he makes mistakes, he either starts over, tries again, or he changes some things. And then last, he makes big pictures. He paints, he glues on cut paper shapes, and that's how he starts to illustrate his book. He does nice work. And if we look at the bottom, it says, when Christian was a kid, he liked to draw dinosaurs. And it also says one of his favorite books down here was a Dr. Seuss book, Are You My Mother? And the last section on the bottom said he liked to be with his grandmom. Last stop on Market Street is inspired by memories of riding the bus with her. So I am certainly going to try to order this book, Last Stop on Market Street. I'm going to put in a Scholastic order today, so hopefully I can get this through Scholastic. If not, I'll order it through, another company, and we will get to read this book. We'll get to read what he wrote, and we'll get to look at the really cool pictures that he makes. So let's see what you know. Show what you know. Meet the illustrator. So we're going to work on this paper first. We're going to put our name on the top. And then remember, we're going to answer the questions that this is asking by using our Let's Find Out book. We can go back into our booklet and we can look for the answers if we don't remember them. The first one says, what does Christian make? What does Christian make? Okay, and if you look at the top, it says, how does Christian make a book? So, what does Christian make? Christian makes books. He either illustrates them, that means drawing the pictures in the book, or he writes the words, he writes the book, or he does both. But we know that what does Christian make? He makes books. He makes books with pictures, he makes books with words. All right, so let's go down to number 2. When does Christian use paints? So remember, he starts here, he has some ideas, and he starts writing them down. It says first he has an idea, then he goes into the studio where his art supplies are. He draws his idea. So if he's drawing, he's using a pen or a pencil or a marker. And then last, he makes big pictures. He paints. So the question is, when does Christian use paints? He uses paints last. When he has his idea all together, he uses the paint. So he uses his paints last. Number 3 says, does Christian ever make mistakes? Well, even without looking at this, do we all make mistakes? Of course we do. And we either go and fix them or we start over. And it says he draws his ideas down. He starts small. And if he makes a mistake, he tries again. So does Christian ever make mistakes? Of course he does. We all make mistakes. So the answer is yes. And number 4 is asking, what did he like to draw as a kid? Do you remember what he used to like to draw? Was it elephants, dinosaurs, or was it a lion? And I'll give you a clue. It's down here. Okay? And it says when Christian was a kid, he liked to draw dinosaurs. So we're going to circle that dinosaur right here. Okay, awesome. Awesome job. Now let's go to our next worksheet. It says Christian's tools. Now, if you remember when he goes into his studio, there were a lot of tools that were listed. So we're going to have to go back, I think, to our booklet here to find some answers. Okay, it says we put a check next to each tool Christian uses. All right, so here are the tools. There's a pencil, a computer, there's a paintbrush, and then there's glue. And it says, does Christian use these? Okay, does Christian use it? So he does use a pencil and he does use a paintbrush. So now let's look at number 1. Does Christian use a paintbrush? So if we look over here at paintbrush, we can match the pictures and there's the word paintbrush. And there's a check mark there. Does Christian use a paintbrush? And there's a check mark, so we're going to say yes, Christian uses a paintbrush. Does Christian use a pencil? So let's look up, we'll match the picture up. The word here is pencil. Does Christian use a pencil? And there's a check mark here, so yes, Christian uses a pencil. Does Christian, we're on number 3 now. Does Christian use a computer? And there's the picture. We'll match the pictures up. The word computer is here. Is there a check mark here? And I don't remember anywhere in the story that we read about Christian that he talked about using a computer. So the answer to this question is going to be no. He does not use a computer. I love that too. I love that he uses his imagination. And he uses paints and pencils and different tools to bring his story to life. I love that he doesn't use the computer. Computers are great, but it's nice to use our imagination. Okay, bonus down here. Now, if you remember in here, it says the things that we listed that he has in his studio: paper, brushes, water, and glue. They're all things he has in his studio. So on the bottom it says, oops, Christian also uses glue. Put a check on the correct place in the chart. So look down here for glue, and we're matching the pictures up. The word glue is here. And yeah, Christian uses glue. It even says it on the paper right here. He goes into his studio. This is where he works. All of his art supplies are there, and one of his art supplies is glue. So you can see the glue down here. We match it up with here. The word glue is here, and we're going to put a check mark right there. All right, awesome. Good listening. Now, like I said, I am going to do my part, and I am going to order this book. I'm going to see what other books that Christian has illustrated or that he's written, or both. And I'm going to try to order some of them because he looks like a super fun guy. He looks like a super fun guy. And I love the way that he uses his imagination. Now on the back, it says, find it in Christian's studio. Name the things in the green box, then circle them in the picture. So this is just a seek and find that you guys can do on your own. These are the pictures that you're hunting for, and you're looking down here. So you could do your seek and find when you have some time. Whew. today was a long day. I know I gave you a lot of information. We had Scholastic, we talked about letter K, we did kites. So, and we watched the Scholastic video. So awesome job hanging in there. Great job. So proud of you. And I'll see you back here Thursday, March 11th. I'll see you later, boys. Bye-bye.